For the untrained eye, the downpour of over 70 millimetres of rain in parts of the southwest was a welcome sight for farmers across the wider region. In just 3 days, southwest Victoria received more rain than the total rainfall received across all of autumn. While there is no question the rain is a huge relief, farmers like Winslow's Bernie fear there is plenty of hard months ahead.
Last 48 hours, the thinking's switched from not knowing when the end is in sight to hopefully having a date where the grass actually starts to grow. And this morning we were talking about it and we're sort of thinking, well, maybe we've miscalculated and we haven't actually got enough of some of the right feed. And yet 48 hours ago we weren't even thinking about that.
Like many farmers living in the region, Bernie has been working tirelessly to ensure his livestock survives. He's had to downsize his milking herd to 600 and sell off beef cattle he was raising to find extra revenue. Driving around his farm in Winslow over the weekend, he couldn't believe the difference. Where there was cracks, now there were puddles. But that doesn't mean the drought has broken.
We've all been in real survival mode up till now. Now we're in a position where we've got to get through the next 11 months. Hopefully we get a good autumn break next year, all subject to how much grass we can grow in the spring, and I don't think we'll grow nearly as much grass as we need to or hope to.
While there are obvious tinges of green in Bernie's paddocks thanks to the deluge, there are still major concerns about what has survived the dry spell and how much seed farmers will need to invest in to replenish plants in the ground.
I was actually out in a paddock this morning and yeah, there is that green tinge, but when you go and start to look at how many plants you've got survived through the summer, didn't look real promising this morning, so we'll hope and reassess later on in the week and make some decisions on how much seed we're going to have to sow.
Over the past few months, Bernie has been very vocal about the reality of the situation farmers in the southwest are facing, speaking on radio in Melbourne to appearing on national television news services. He believes there is more to be done by our state politicians and decision makers to help ensure farmers survive the aftermath of the driest period on record.
Politicians don't like hearing the truth of what's really going on in the rural communities. There's a lot of farmers out there that are just hanging on, and even though this rain has come, it doesn't rain grass, and we've got another 3 months of trying to keep these cows alive through the coldest and wettest part of the year. They're going to use more energy from now on. Now that it's got cold, grass is going to grow slower. There's lots of issues for farmers for the next 3 months, and they're going to continue for another 11. Then after that 11 months, then they're going to start to actually look at how is the business going to survive, because every farmer at the moment is living from day to day, week to week. And at some point in time, we have to look up and see how we're going to survive for the next 3, 4, 5 years while we recover from this.
Just last Friday, Premier Jacinta Allen visited the southwest to meet with the newly established Drought Task Force. Farmers like Bernie believe her visit was a missed opportunity and that more time should have been taken to meet with local dairy farmers. Member for South West Coast Roma Britnell agrees, saying that like any natural disaster, the aftermath needs to be taken seriously by the state government.
There is absolutely no way there will be feed available for, till late September at the absolute earliest, probably mid-October. It's got really cold, as everyone felt over the weekend, so grass doesn't grow when it's cold. So we've got a massive challenge. Now, on Friday, which is, days ago now, we saw the Premier come to South West Victoria at the request of many of us. But did she actually announce anything? No. And has she announced anything since then? Still nothing. No discussion about what was said at that meeting. No action from that meeting. It's absolutely disgraceful. I keep saying it. These animals are like children. You can't ask them to wait a week for feed. They need it now.
During Friday's visit, dozens of farmers and CFA volunteers lined the streets of Camperdown, hoping for a chance to speak with the Premier. There was no intention of malice or threat to her safety. Farmers and CFA volunteers just wanted to be sure their voices were heard. Roma believes the Allen Labor government needs to implement strategies to ensure our farmers are better looked after.
The Allen Labor government and Jacinta Allen, who came down and said she'd listen, needs to actually implement the strategies that have been offered to her as solutions. Victorian Farmers Federation, Shadow Minister for Agriculture, myself and Richard Reardon, who know our communities, whose part of the world is most affected. We can give her the answers. She just needs to open her mind to listening and then actually delivering.
For Bernie, he has fears that the biggest challenges for he and his fellow farmers are yet to come. While he admits he is very fortunate to have a portfolio of assets that he could refinance, many others may not be so lucky. And he believes more needs to be done to help protect local farmers to ensure their businesses survive well beyond the next 3 years.
There's plenty of farmers out there that I know that are 5-10 years into the game and they haven't got any assets behind them. So they can't go to the bank and say, I want to borrow $200,000-300,000 to get me through for the next 6 months, 12 months. The banks are just going to say, well, I'm sorry, but the equity's not there. What are the solutions? The government needs to realise that they can't drop the ball even though it's rained. They kept on telling us for the last 8 months that, let's just hope it rains and that'll fix everything. Well, it's got to the point where it's past that. It's, if it had rained 6 weeks ago, we would have been out of this and we wouldn't have been making nearly as much noise now. So the government needs to step up to the plate and hopefully this week they announce some announcements that are tangible for farmers.